The fog rolls through London's Victorian streets like ghosts of forgotten promises, and I find myself walking these cobblestones with nothing but a worn leather satchel containing 15 years of sacrifice. My name is Alexander Thorne, and at 45, I've learned that family can be both salvation and destruction. The British Museum looms before me in the twilight, its columns standing like silent sentinels to all the stories never told. Mine is one of them, until now. 15 years ago, I owned a small bookshop in the heart of literary London. The smell of aged paper and fresh ink was my perfume, the whisper of turning pages my symphony. But Emma, my younger sister, had dreams bigger than my humble world could contain. Flashback, black and white memories. "Alex, I need to study law," Emma had said, her eyes bright with ambition. "Harvard Law. I can change everything for our family." I see myself now, bent over my typewriter at 3 in the morning, abandoning my novel, the unfinished story, to write freelance articles that paid Emma's tuition. I sold my bookshop, piece by piece, book by book, dream by dream. I watched my manuscript gather dust while I poured everything into her future. Present. Now I stand at her door in Kensington, my publishing house having collapsed like a house of cards in the economic downturn. My weathered hands clutch the same manuscript I abandoned for her, my salt and pepper hair catching the London drizzle, my tweed coat a poor shield against both the cold and what's coming. "Emma," I say when she opens the door, her sharp business suit a stark contrast to my humble appearance. Her hazel eyes, once warm with sisterly love, now appraise me like a lawyer examining a losing case. Behind her, James emerges. Her husband, a financial predator in an expensive suit, his smile as cold as the Thames in winter. "You're just a dreamer, Alex," Emma says, her voice carrying the weight of her new life. "My home can't contain your failures." The words hit me like shards of broken glass, each syllable cutting deeper than the last. This is the sister I sacrificed everything for? I never expected my own sister to turn her back on me.
The elegant Kensington apartment feels like a courtroom where I'm already convicted. Emma and James stand before me like prosecutors ready to deliver their verdict, the London fog pressing against the windows as if trying to witness my humiliation. "Look at you," James sneers, adjusting his silk tie. "A failed writer clinging to fantasies. Maybe it's time to face reality, Alex." Emma nods, her transformation complete. The little girl who once begged me for bedtime stories now looks at me with disgust. "We can't have you here, Alex. You're embarrassing." "I gave up everything for you," I whisper, my voice barely audible above the rain against the windows. "My bookshop, my dreams, my novel. That's your choice, not mine. I didn't ask you to be a martyr." My heart cracks like ice on the Thames. 15 years of sacrifice dismissed with a wave of her manicured hand. "You can work as a library assistant," James adds with cruel satisfaction. "It's honest work, more than you deserve." They expect me to crumble, to accept their charity and fade into the background of their successful lives. But they don't know what I know, what I've kept hidden all these years. In my coat pocket, I feel the weight of a leather-bound journal, the record of a secret I've guarded since our father's death, a $7 million investment fund he left me, hidden from family greed, kept safe when I truly needed it. Go ahead, Alex. Go arrange books. It's about all you're good for. Something ignites in my chest, not desperation, but determination. The pain transforms into something harder, sharper. You'll regret underestimating me, I say quietly, my voice carrying a new steel that makes Emma step back. Both of you. As I walk into the London rain, the Thames churning dark and angry beside me, I clutch my journal tighter. The fog swirls around me like the spirits of my ancestors, and for the first time in 15 years, I feel truly alive. They have no idea about the secret I've kept all these years.
6 months later, I stand in the boardroom of Thornfield Publishing, my publishing house, purchased with funds they never knew existed. The irony isn't lost on me that Emma, as a lawyer for my competitor, sits across from me now, her face pale with shock. Plagiarism? I say calmly, reviewing her accusations. That's a serious charge, Emma. I trust you have evidence. The manuscript of the unfinished story lies between us, finally completed, finally published, finally receiving the acclaim it deserved. But Emma, desperate and cornered, has accused me of stealing it from another author. "This isn't possible," she whispers, her lawyer's composure cracking. "You were nobody, you had nothing." "I had everything," I reply. "I just chose to hide it." The court battle is swift and brutal. Emma's lies crumble under the weight of evidence, draft after draft of my novel, dating back 15 years, witnessed and notarized. Photographs of me writing in my old bookshop, testimony from Clara, my loyal editor who never stopped believing. But the real blow comes when I go viral. James, in his desperation, posts a video online calling me a fraud, a failure who stole success from others. His mistake is underestimating the power of truth in the digital age. My response is a live stream from my study, the Thames glittering behind me through tall windows. I hold up documents, bank statements showing the $7 million fund, letters from Emma begging for money over the years, drafts of my novel predating any she could claim. My sister asked me to sacrifice everything for her education. I did. But when she needed me, she called me a dreamer, a failure, an embarrassment. The internet responds with fury. Hashtag Justice for Alex trends worldwide. Book sales soar. But the most devastating revelation comes when Clara produces something I'd forgotten. Security footage from my old bookshop showing Emma trying to steal my original manuscript years ago, before her marriage, before her success. "You tried to take my story then," I confront her in court, the footage playing on screens around us. "When that failed, you settled for taking my life instead." Emma's face crumbles, her perfect lawyer's mask finally falling away. "Alex, I was desperate. The pressure, the expectations." "Lies have a way of fueling my fire," I tell her, feeling the strength of 15 years of suppressed truth flowing through me. "Thank you for reminding me who I really am." The judge's gavel falls like thunder. Victory tastes like the first breath of air after drowning. They thought I was finished, but I was just getting started. The courthouse steps in London have witnessed countless victories and defeats, but none feel quite like this. The fog has lifted, and for the first time in years, I can see the city clearly. Emma and James emerge behind me, their empire crumbling. She's lost her position at the law firm. Ethics violations, they called it. He's drowning in debt, his financial schemes exposed during my investigation. "Alex," Emma calls out, her voice breaking. "Please, we're family." I turn to face her, this stranger who shares my blood.
She looks smaller now, diminished without her armor of success and cruelty. Family doesn't betray like you did, I say simply. Family doesn't call sacrifice embarrassing. James tries to approach me. His expensive suit now rumpled, his confidence shattered. Come on, Alex, we can work something out. Business is business. This was never business, James. This was personal. The victory at court feels complete, but not satisfying in the way I expected. Standing here with my recovered bookshop keys in one hand and my published novel in the other, I realize that winning isn't about their defeat, it's about my resurrection. Clara approaches me, her smile genuine and warm. The reviews are incredible, Alex. 3 publishers want your next novel. As Emma and James walk away into the London fog, their silhouettes disappearing like the ghosts of a life I no longer want, I feel something I haven't experienced in 15 years. Freedom. I thought it was over, but Emma had one last move to make.
My new apartment overlooks the Thames, and the morning light streaming through tall windows illuminates thousands of books, my collection, rebuilt and expanded. The unfinished story sits prominently on my desk, no longer unfinished, no longer forgotten. I've been mentoring young writers for 6 months now, seeing my old struggles reflected in their eager faces. Today, a young woman shows me her manuscript, a story about family, sacrifice, and finding your voice. It's about learning to write your own story, she explains nervously. That's the only story worth telling, I reply. The phone rings. It's Emma. Alex, I know you won't forgive me, but I need you to know I never stopped loving you. I just got lost. I watched the Thames flow past my window, carrying stories and secrets toward the sea. I don't regret helping you, Emma, but I learned to live for myself. I'm sorry, she whispers. I know, I say, and hang up. That evening, I sit at my typewriter, the same one I used 15 years ago, and begin a new story. Outside, London glows with the promise of 1,000 untold tales, and the Thames reflects the lights like scattered diamonds. I type the first line. The fog rolls through London's Victorian streets like ghosts of forgotten promises. But some promises are worth keeping to yourself. For the first time in my life, I'm writing the ending I deserve. The betrayal taught me to write my own story, and it's a story where I'm no longer the supporting character in someone else's dream. I'm the author of my own destiny, and every word belongs to me. For the first time, I wrote the ending I deserved.